Hey, this is Cyber Sam, and let's teach tech. Today was day one, reflecting on how it went, the good, the bad, and giving you some tips. So with my cybersecurity students, I have for years been using the same PowerPoint. I decided to act a little crazy, a little fun, and turn the lights down, turn up the music, and get them excited about the program. So I've got some slides where I try to pull on their emotions a bit, point out the importance of the program in regards to what they're going to get out of what's the big picture. Our local college has created a connection between technology and being superhuman and it's being a superhero. So I used, because I'm teaching those classes, I use those references. And so we talk about being superhuman in the intro, helping others, and trying to reach a broad spectrum of my students, not just the ones who like to code and get all technical and so on. The other students who just want to help people, and that's a huge part of being in cybersecurity and in any technology class or any CTE program, is the idea that we get to help people in our different areas. So I hit on that we're in cybersecurity, we are learning real skills to serve and protect others, and talk about how we work hard. I talk about some days we'll laugh, some days we'll cry. But if you stick with us in this long journey, you're going to learn incredible skills to help serve and protect others. I give some quick, and I time this with the music so that it's just like a 3-minute long, quickly going through the presentation. But we go quickly through the college courses we're covering. We go through the opportunities of earning certifications and doing job shadows and different cyber competitions, community service projects, and helping with technology around our building and things like that. And we end with being the hero, doing the incredible, empowering the world, with a roar of percussion and the orchestra and so on. So I try to, in doing that, I'm hitting a lot of things where I'm trying to make sure students are understanding both trying to get my personality of being fun, also being serious, with that we are college students now, and I'm with my high school students telling them this for the first time, but the bigger purpose of what we're doing. I highly recommend this. It's gone well. It's a great way to break the ice with students instead of an awkward, it is awkward for sure, but instead of an awkward, hey, how's it going? Let me tell you about myself kind of thing, it ends up creating this vibe and energy in the space that is way more fun and engaging, and I really am able to get them with me. The phones end up going away, their eyes are on me because I've put myself out there. I'm kind of acting like a fool in some respects, but I'm definitely performing in front of them. And some of us feel comfortable doing this and some don't, but it's definitely worth it in my book for me to put myself out there to get my students engaged and get them tuned in without having to say, okay, put your phones away, all right, now I need your attention. I'm able to grab their attention in a different way, and it works really well. So I end up putting my learning targets for the day, very similar to what everyone does often on that first day, which is I want them to understand the overview of the program. I want them to be comfortable, and I didn't quite get to this one, but getting to equipment and logistics and where things are. I ran out of time for that today, so I've been trying to adjust my PowerPoints and so on. So I'll hit that next time and realize that I overplanned too much for one day, and get to know each other's in the class. That was the big one I hit on today, and that's really where we ended up, finished up with all my classes. I introduced myself. I always tell my students that I've got 2 master's degrees. I've got a master's in cybersecurity and teaching. I've got a ton of ICT certifications, and I tell them to take it personally because I'm doing it because I want to be the best teacher I can be. I'm been grinding and improving myself with degrees and certifications and experience in the profession and so on, also I can be the best teacher I can be. I could double my salary in industry, but I really just love working with, in my case, young people, to help them develop their passions and help them be the best students they can be. And so I throw it back on them to let them know I do have some credentials here, but it's because I want to help them. And I think it turns the I'm bragging about myself into a, oh wait, he really cares about me. I give them some more personal information about myself. I this year ended up, I always tell my web toes, when they walk in the room, I have them fill out sheets that tell me about themselves while they're waiting and getting class started, so I can learn about them. And I say, well, I'm going to share some things about me, tell them about my family, tell them about, this year I told them about my Bell's palsy and related myself to Sylvester Stallone, tried to compare my physique with his. I said it was pretty much indistinguishable between me and him. Had a picture on the screen, having some fun with them. And then we end up with an activity where it's called Find Someone Who. So this is the sheet I pass out that they fill out about themselves. I ask about their hobbies, what they do for fun, what they're involved in, kind of things. An interesting thing about themselves, why they chose the class, and what they want to get out of the program. So they're tuning in and about their intentions and the why of the class, and I can get a sneak peek of that as well. And then if they believe they can be successful in the class and what they need from me as an instructor for them to be successful, and what do they need to do to be successful. So turning it in on them and also me. I want to know if they have any special things that needs they have as a learner. And then the Find Someone Who activity looks like this, and is an awesome way of having students break the ice with each other and get to know each other. So we go in the hall because my room isn't great for collaboration, standing up and collaborating. So we head out to the hall. We find someone who's built a computer, cracked a phone, has a cracked phone screen, who knows how to code, who plays the same game as you. And if they find someone, they the other person initials or signs their name there. And in the past, with COVID, we didn't do this so much, but I usually say, give the person a high five and say, hey, I'm Sally. Hi, I'm Billy. And I usually go, which one of these can you fill out? And then I say, if they put down that they have a pet, have a conversation about it. Ask them, so what kind of pet do you have? Or if they say, I have a job, ask them, so where do you work? And this is a great way to get a little conversation going. So I add technology things. I ask if, find someone who's solved a Rubik's Cube, someone who goes to the same homeschool as you, which my students are mostly from my district's home high schools, and they come to my building to take specialized courses. So find someone who's nervous about the class, someone who has a job, someone who can drive, who wants to get an IT job someday, who's fixed a phone screen, who likes the same food as you, who has a pet, who speaks more than one language, who's wearing the same color as you, and who has the same birth month. And then once we've done this enough that I can tell we're about done, we head back to the classroom and then we have a good group discussion about it. I usually just have people raise their hand. Okay, who's built a computer? All right, I assume it's for gaming. Yeah, okay, cool. And some of these are a good conversation, and it brings out some of the important things about my program. So I talk about how how solving a Rubik's Cube and picking locks in my program, and how that relates to security, how it relates to software updates, and how it relates to building the builder's mindset, and how if you know how something is made, you can know how to break it, and then you can learn how to build something better, and how you can think outside the box to create. And when you solve puzzles, you can think differently about things, and how is the technology area world is not just about technical skills, it's about thinking differently, and or thinking different. So I have pictures on my walls of students solving Rubik's Cubes for the first time, picking locks for the first time, things like that. And I like to capture the moment that they did it, they feel pride in doing it. And I put that up on my classroom wall, and it's my wall of pride. And I really, and it showcases the talents of my students. I'm able to point out that I'm nervous about class, and how all these emotions are cool and okay, and gets into some of the social emotional learning side of things, about speaking more than one language and how important that is to put on a job application. It makes you more employable, and how that's an awesome thing. And what else? Talk about what languages they code in, and how if someone doesn't want to be, isn't sure if they want an IT job or a tech job someday, how this can still help them be more employable and more interesting in a wide spectrum of careers. I've got a former apprentice who's going to be a lawyer. Maybe he'll do cyber law, maybe he won't, but his cybersecurity background helps him be more employable and interesting when he's applying for jobs. So we end up doing that. We do some touring around. We've got a server room, and check that out and give them some big overview, big broad understanding of the program, the college credits they're learning, the certifications they're earning. One thing I have to emphasize is that you don't need to know anything day one in the program. So students can get nervous when you throw all these opportunities at them and tell them that they can get paid, be in a paid apprentice and so on. It's like, oh, that's too much, I want to quit. So I have to remind them that this is a process. You don't have to know anything day one. You don't have to have built a computer, and that if they can trust me and trust the process and the journey we're going to go through, that they will get to the point where they are comfortable with those things, and they will have some swagger in their step, and feel comfortable applying for that job in the spring, and feel comfortable fixing computers and things, troubleshooting stuff in our building as we go along through the year. So that's kind of how I start my year. I'm really curious how your first days are going. What tips do you have? What activities do you do that engage your students and let them understand that you care for them and the awesome things that you're doing in your programs? Please put those things in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. This is Cyber Sam with Let's Teach Tech. We'll see you next time.